We ready? Bartica, we ready? Guyana, we ready? We ready? Yes. Good night, Bartica. Good night, Guyana. Good night, the world. We're coming to you from Bartica. But first of all, let me acknowledge royalty where royalty is due. Honorable Prime Minister, the best Prime Minister we have had in this country for the last 27 years. Moses Nagamutu. I don't care where you bring any other body from before him. That is the best Prime Minister we've had in Guyana for the last 27 years. And we are proud of our Prime Minister. We are proud of our coalition partners. And we are proud of the process which produces our leaders in our coalition. We are proud of it. This is democracy at work. And so when all of the others are shouting this and shouting that, we believe that they're trying to give Stitchie a hard time. Because I think Stitchie is one of the best one-man band. But this one-man fellow, he wants to outrun Stitchie. So he doing all kind of thing going all over the place, shouting this and shouting that. Who is shitty and who is Stitchie, and all sorts of nonsense. But I want to say to you tonight, my dear brothers and sisters, that this coalition government under David Arthur Granger is the best thing that could have happened to Guyana in the longest while. That this coalition government will be in office after the next election is called. In fact, we are already in office before the election call, and we will be there after the elections are called. So you say, wear my Granger cap. Because in the coalition, we are of the strong belief that there is no other person capable of matching our president, David Arthur Granger. Winston Jordan spoke about somebody who was MIA. Well, MIA really means missing in action. But I believe somebody in this crowd is saying it named Muhammad Irfan Ali. So I know you work that up, Winston. The MIA is what it means. But we are a very serious people. Today we just completed our ministerial outreach. We just completed our cabinet meeting here in Bartica. And it is part of what we say is our responsibility to you, the people of Guyana. It is part of our honoring our commitment under the Constitution of inclusive governance, Article 13. And it is what we believe is giving meaning and effect to our Constitution. When we bring government to the people, when we interface with you, when we say to you, tell us what your problems are and let us fix them here. We're not waiting for you to come to Georgetown. We are bringing our government to you. And since we came into office, with the establishment of the new townships, what we have done is to decentralize government services. We have created new passport offices. We have created offices for birth certificates. We have created new police divisions so that you can have a police division commander right in your area, right here in Bartica, right across the road. Many years ago, the division commander for this division was in Rabbitwa, Kingston. When we came into office, the president said, how could you have a police division as large as F Division with all of the hinterland, and you have the commander living in Georgetown. So he said, find an office for the commander and a home and let him live in the region. And the same thing about Region 9. Have the senior commanders on the ground. And this is the unfolding of what Vice President Ramjatan speaks about, the new way in which policing is going to take place, so that the security forces will be on the ground where they are required. And since then, very often we do not look at statistics in the hinterland, but since then there has been a significant reduction in criminal activity in these communities because we have the police present right there and they can respond to your complaints when they are made. So there are so many things that have happened. But today, I believe most importantly, it's not really what the CCJ decided, but what Minister Jordan said to us in our cabinet meeting, that the International Monetary Fund had released a report on Guyana. And a report which said that the economy of Guyana grew, I believe 4%, 4.1%. And it's about the highest growth rate in the region of the Caribbean. All of this is happening when some of the people in the opposition and their supporters are saying business bad, thing bad in Guyana. But the International Monetary Fund came here and interviewed everybody. They interviewed Jack Dio. And he told them if he gets into office, he's going to scrap the sovereign wealth fund, our natural resources fund. He's going to scrap it. So the people look at him like this. They say, you want to put your hand in the till. You don't want anything going in a fund that is transparently managed. You want to put it in your hand first and then put in what you think is necessary inside there. So they said, they probably walked out and said, this guy living in another century. But the International Monetary Fund gave this economy and the management of this economy a very high rating. And so the opposition, they are trying to find ways and means of taking us a peg down when we are right up there. They're finding all kinds of excuses. They said the report is flawed. But that is the accurate report on the management of the finances and the resources of this country. And for that, I want you all to give another round of applause to Winston Jordan and his team for managing the affairs of our country in a transparent way and to allow for our growth to take place. And this is not overnight growth. This is growth that has been carefully managed and prepared. And so we are at a place now where we are taking off. And this taking off is taking place even before a cent is put into our coffers from the proceeds of oil and gas. Even before that has happened. And so there are some unheralded aspects of our economy that seem to be overshadowed by what everybody thinking about oil and gas and so on. And so many things are happening in the environment. So many things are happening in our tourism sector. So many things are happening in our agricultural sector that's quietly bringing resources to Guyana and lifting this country even before the advent of the monies from oil and gas. So we are not just waiting on that. The information, the infrastructure that we have put in place is what will take this country forward. So when oil come and oil gone, we will still have a resilient economy that the world, all of the Guyanese people, this generation and generations to come, will be happy and proud to know that we were the stewards of this in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and onwards. But, my dear friends, tonight I want to say also that that development did not happen by magic. Because what we had to do was to make some very serious choices in how we will spend the little resources that we have. And one of the choices that we had to make was how much we will spend on our young people, how much we will spend on our human resource. And so while some people are making a big hue and a cry about how much we spend on scholarships, I want to say to all of us here tonight that from 2015 to June 2019, we have offered over 1,599 scholarships to young people in this country. We have sent our people all across the world so that they can understand what best practices are. We have sent people to the United Kingdom, over 70-something over this period of time. We have sent them to China, over 300 and something over this period of time. We have sent them to Cuba over this period of time, 50-something of them. We have sent people to the United States of America, 40-something of them over this period of time. And all other parts of the world making up that amount. And it was not from one part of Guyana. Every single region of this country had scholarships, regions 1 to 10. And I have the figures, which I'll give the press later on, so they can publish it for that gentleman, the one-man band, to see what it is that we're talking about. This is what we have been invested in young people. And so while we invest in our young people, we expect these elections will be significantly about young people. And so we, as a government, we stand with our young people. And I am asking the young people all across this country, but let us start here tonight at Bartica, to stand up for your government. Stand up for your government. Stand up for your government. Young people, stand up for your government. Be ready for the road. Yes, yes, young people. Every young person all across this country, this is what is going to happen coming up to the elections. We will stand up for our government. We will stand up in the media. We will stand up on the television. We will stand up at the street corners. We will stand up in the internet cafes. We stand up in the betting shops. We stand up all across this country. We will stand up for our government. And when people tell you nonsense, tell them, I am standing up for my government. So you're going to hear me, you're going to hear you. We are what? We are standing up for our government because your government will stand up for you. We have stood up for you over the last years, and we will continue to stand up for you in the years to come. So tonight, I want to say I'm extremely happy to be here to share this podium with my colleagues, my fellow, well, I got to say my fellow ministers, but I forget I'm not a minister anymore. To the ministers and my cabinet colleagues, I want to say to you that this has been a tremendous experience. Just listening to the people at Bartica today, listening to the enthusiasm which they bring their problems with, and you will recognize that these were not people coming with a shoulder drooping and so on. And the media asked me a question, why is it that so many people are the Central Housing and Planning? And I said to them, it is because Guyanese people have become awakened to the idea that they must own land. And this is not just the older generation. It's the young people. The young people are coming out and recognizing that I want my piece of El Dorado. And this, as a government, we will give you that piece of El Dorado because we believe you are entitled to it. Many of our foreparents died before they were able to achieve it. And so in your lifetime, you will achieve it because this government will provide it to you. And so tonight, my dear friends, I want to thank you for coming out, and I want to thank all of you, my colleagues on the stage. I now hand you back over to the lady who said that I brought her into politics, but I'm so proud of her. She has done so much. In fact, in a very short space of time, I remember her first rally was right here on this ground. And there were all sorts of complaints about, will we bring in these green people? I mean, not the color green, but that her inexperience. And I said, let us give them the experience. Then at our final rally at the Square of the Revolution, we were to decide on who are the people that will chair that meeting. And I had an argument with my friend Raphael Trotman and several other persons who said we should get people with experience. I said, no, give this young lady the break and you see what will happen. It is now history. She's done a tremendous job, so thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.